we had in 2017 the block size wars, which was a very significant piece of history, where you had the hard forks and Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Satoshi Vision came around. It was really then that it was proven that the miners don't really control the network. It's really the nodes that control the network. And this is when Michael Saylor actually, who had gotten into Bitcoin in 2013 and ignored it. He was aware of it. He kind of looked at it and ignored it. But after the block size wars, he understood that it was a swarm of cyber hornets. You know, he started to put the pieces together, and then now he's absolutely crazy about Bitcoin, and he's leading this what I call a speculative attack against the central banks, and which is really a remarkable situation, which we can get into. But nevertheless, so it's been fraught with all kinds of drama. It's up, it's down, it's volatile. They've got incredible personalities that come and they go. Some go to jail, some die. So it was very difficult. Unlike today, where you can just go to swanbitcoin.com/orange pill, and you can get $10 free Bitcoin by just signing up. It's easy, and you can get it, pulled right into your Casa wallet immediately, and you have multi-signature security, right? I mean, all that stuff's brand new. It's so easy today to get into Bitcoin compared to when you typically lose it, the wrong address, stolen. It's just like a totally wild situation. And today it's a lot easier, and the numbers prove it. The adoption rates are going up quite quickly. The institutional money is coming in huge. And so now we're at the sweet spot. Well, for 2021, my prediction is 220,000 per coin for 2021. And longer term, really, I say there is no top to Bitcoin because there's no bottom for fiat money. No fiat money in history has lasted. Over the past 300 years, they've all gone to zero or lost 99% of their purchasing power. As Voltaire once said, all fiat money returns to its intrinsic value of zero. And this is, we're going to see this with the US dollar. The US dollar is at risk of going the way of the Venezuelan bolivar. No fiat money in the past 300 years has escaped going to zero. There's been hundreds of fiat money. The average lifespan of paper money is 27 years. None have survived. The British pound is still around, although it's no longer backed by silver or gold or anything like that. It is purely fiat. And so we can't really say it's been around for the 300 years, but even so, it's lost over 99% of its purchasing power. The US dollar has lost 98 to 99% of its purchasing power. All these other currencies, many hundreds of currencies going back 300 years, have all just been disappeared. They've all been erased from existence. They've all gone to zero. So that's a very strong trend. How anyone could look at that history and say, well, no, the dollar is going to survive. The dollar is worth something. When it's backed by nothing except the Pentagon, as Paul Krugman at the New York Times says, the US dollar is backed by men with guns. Well, guess what? The Pentagon, those guns, they cost a lot of money to keep it gassed up. You know how much it costs to keep the Pentagon at gassed up every day? The jets, the planes, the transportation, all that petrochemical. They spend $250 million a day. And oh, by the way, we just entered into a secular bull market for commodities. Oil is going up. All the prices of everything going up. So the Fed is like, oh, we're just going to print more. We're going to print more. We're going to print another 10 trillion, 15 trillion, 20 trillion. Well, and then we're going to all buy it all back and put it on our balance sheet again. We're going to monetize the debt. We're going to keep doing that. Okay, well, we already see inflation breaking out in the economy right now, and it's only going to get worse. So you're going to see the next few months, food and energy is going to be up 30, 40, 50%. Your wages are not going to be flat. They're not going up. They're going to give more coupons, in the mail. In the past, you've used beads, you've used stones, we used gold. They've all been used as money. And as long as a lot of people use it as money, it becomes money. So now you've got a global community of 100 million now using Bitcoin. So the first point is that they use it as money. So they believe it's money. It is money because people use it as money. And that's the first point. In other words, money is whatever people think it is. Whatever the community decides it is, that's money. And so for 5,000 years, people used ultimately gold. Even the central banks that are using fiat money, they do settle between them in gold. So we understand why gold is money. It's scarce, it's portable, it's divisible, it's desirable. And if we apply that to Bitcoin, it's absolutely scarce, unlike gold, which is only relatively scarce. Gold is inflating by 2 or 3% a year, so it's not actually as scarce as Bitcoin. It's more divisible. It's more portable. It's unconfiscatable, which gold doesn't have that property. Gold can get confiscated, and it's been confiscated in the past. In 1933, America's gold was confiscated by FDR and put in Fort Knox, right? So gold is confiscatable. Bitcoin is unconfiscatable. It's immutable. It's indestructible. The people who are against it are people who are completely vested in the system as it is now, in the status quo. So people like Nouriel Roubini or Peter Schiff or Paul Krugman of the New York Times, or the people at Davos, the people at the IMF, the people at the World Bank, who are wed to paper money, who are wed to the idea that the world should be centralized, that there should be a Politburo of authoritarian and authorities who making policy for everybody. And if you were to go against that, you're a heretic, and we're going to send in the Inquisition, and we're going to burn you at the stake. The elites now in the US and around the world are not happy that they're being shown up to be frauds, to be charlatans, that their philosophy is dead, their modus operandi is corrupt. So they're not happy about it. So we would want, if Bitcoin is going to be successful, it would have to attract the ire of the legacy system and the authoritarians who would be challenged by it, of course. So, but one by one they fall, and they come over to the side of Bitcoin. We've got 3 sitting Congress people in Washington now who are actively pro-Bitcoin. We've got Cynthia Lummis in Wyoming, who's a senator, who's a Bitcoiner. We've got 2 others in Washington who are now totally pro-Bitcoin. America now is starting to shift to be getting more pro-Bitcoin. So and this idea of government banning it, again, completely fallacious argument. Instead, what we're seeing is that governments are realizing they need to embrace Bitcoin to remain competitive. So they're not going to ban it. They're going to start mining it.